What's going on, you guys? I go by Cringe, and I'm a member of the Madden Bomber League. The beta was open this weekend, Madden 20, our first real look at it. So let's just get right into it and talk about what some of the community is talking about, and I want to give you guys my impressions as well. So first and foremost, I think a lot of people are talking about the pass rush, right? Some people think it comes in too quick. Some people think it comes in just right. Pass rush is coming in a lot quicker than it did last year. Last year we saw there was really only a couple formations where the pass rush would seem like it would come in very quickly, also known as shed D some of the time. But it seems like you can really get defensive pressure from really any formation, and I like that. I'm on the camp that I think the pass rush is actually pretty good, right? I don't want to see a quarterback sitting all day in the pocket against a four-man front. While that does happen sometimes in the NFL, more often than not, the quarterback's got to get the ball out of his hands in 3 seconds max. What I will say about the pass rush is that I'd like to see a little more balance in the players that are actually getting to the quarterback. Whereas when I play some games, I would notice that guys like Cam Jordan might have like 4 or 5 sacks, and everybody else would have 0, right? And I know that he's an X Factor player. I understand he's an extremely good player, but reality is that you don't see just one guy getting to the quarterback. So I'd like to see maybe a little bit better defensive linemen that aren't the X Factor players that are getting in, or maybe also lowering some of the skill of the X Factor players so they're not the only ones making plays. Let's see what else. Looking at my notes here, a lot of the feedback is that people are saying that the game runs smooth, right? And I agree. I think the ball carrier movement is good, right? People aren't doing the one cut accidentally. If you sprint, you're not just like kind of locked into one straight line. I think that ball carrier moves like spins and jukes are not overpowered, whereas last year they kind of were a little bit. And then on the flip side, on defense, when you're using a guy, you're much less likely to get faked out from a move. Tackling seems better. Hit sticking takes more skill, stuff like that. So I definitely think that when people say, and I've heard this a lot, that the game runs smooth, it really truly does. And if you haven't played it yet, when you get your hands on it, you'll understand what people are talking about. Thirdly, a lot of people are talking about QB windups, right? And I believe that sometimes it does take too long. Sometimes it feels like I'm trying to throw a 30-yard pass downfield, and Pat Mahomes or Brady, whoever it was, seemed like they were winding up for a 50-yard Hail Mary ball, right? Where they would just take way too long to throw the ball, and it seemed like it wasn't quite what they intended. And so I do think that QB windups need to be addressed a little bit. I like the fact that it takes longer to throw the ball, whereas last year, especially with the guys with Gunslinger, I understand that that's a different concept, but guys will get out of the ball like super, super fast, and it takes more skill. There's with the timing of the windup, you have to actually time the guy to throw them open correctly. So I like the fact that QBs do take more time to throw the ball, but I think sometimes it seemed a little bit too much. Let's see. Lastly, I'll talk about the RPOs, and I think there's some really great things with this. First and foremost, fun addition to the game that isn't overpowered, right? Whereas in Madden 25 or whatever read option was really introduced to the game, it was really too much, right? The read option was pretty overpowered. You'd have an entire defense faked out by one pull, and it was really just kind of too much. Whereas this year they added the RPOs, and you have to make the right read, right? And 2, you're only getting a 10-yard gain on a slant or something like that. There's not too much of a big playability from RPOs, and that's kind of the idea of an RPO in general, right? I've seen some complaints that there are some illegal man downfield issues with the RPOs, and I like the fact that they even have that, right? The fact that they throw those flags is great. I haven't seen it a ton, and I think some of the issues with that could be with with an RPO, you can't have a receiver blocking another receiver, blocking a cornerback 5 yard downfield while there's another receiver running a route. That's illegal, right? So sometimes you might have to get the ball out of your hands super quick, and that's the idea with an RPO anyways, right? But again, some people are saying that it's a little more RNG and that it doesn't seem quite exactly consistent. I could agree with that, and I think maybe that's something that they can address. So those are just a few things that I really liked and saw with the beta at first look. I think that this Madden has really great potential. Whereas last year, Madden 19, I think it's no secret that it had a lot of pretty glaring issues pretty much right out of the box. This one seems more polished, it seems more ready to go, and I think people are excited. So, all right, guys, I'm Cringe. I'll see you next time. Peace out.